Awesome. Let us begin. Welcome, gentlemen. Welcome back to another session of D&D. The last, I guess, opportunity. Well, I guess the last sort of arc of the drinkers. But first, before we get to all that nonsense, let's get to a very, very, very quick recap. Last session, the Guardians of Ambyr had battled against Yggdrasil's defenses, while Ratatoskr attempted to open the correct portal to TIamat's secret and locked lair of hell. After many bugs were killed, an eagle was set on fire, the correct portal was opened, and you all rushed through the glass-like arcane barrier that blocked Tiamat away, into the portal and into Tiamat's domain. Meanwhile, back in the capital, things have been busying up. The Guardians left for Tiamat's this morning, and now the Drengers wait and prepare for the upcoming attack. Mittens has been recalled to Ambyr, obviously, and the Dragonborn from the north have arrived this morning to Daviak's welcome, but very little welcome from anyone else. Within the last week, the main force of the army has now been fully assembled. In the capital, barracks are full of new troops from all over Ambyr who have volunteered to join. The Elven faction of the army and the Dwarven faction of the army that has been assembled sort of wait outside the city within very large camps, and the gold dragon Silriel, as well as his 3 other companions, who are all dragons, are all patiently awaiting for whatever is to happen. Scouts have been sent all over Ambyr with sending stones to warn of an incoming attack from elsewhere, and all there is to do now is wait. You each have about a day before the sort of incoming attack, though as far as you know, you're unaware of anything, and it could come in any second. As a last final thing, how do you think the Drengers, how do you think your characters are preparing for such for something like this? Obviously, you're expecting something to be coming, assuming when the Guardians reach Tiamat. Assuming they have, how do you think your Drengers are just doing their last little bits of preparation? How are they getting themselves ready for something like this?
I'm finally going to beat Nevado at a game of chess.
Two very different approaches there. Beat Nevado at chess, keep spirits.
We're actually both shit at chess. It's awful.
Yeah, I can imagine, because Nevado's mainly lived in the wild, and I mean, samurai were meant to be sort of fairly intellectual, but Giri's never really struck me as someone who sits and plays chess a lot. So all Giri's doing is moving the knight around and the horse, and that's it.
Of chess, it involves using all of Giri's blades versus
weather animals,
like
Nevado
16 summoned bears.
Yeah.
And all the bears have to wear a different hat.
Yeah. This actually sounds like something we should really do.
It's basically D&D Wizards chess from Harry Potter.
No, Ron.
It's good training for the blades because they get to fight bears, and the bears are summoned creatures, so it doesn't matter if they die.
Yeah, like somewhere you've drawn a big grid out on the ground and be like, all right, it's my turn. You blade over there, you move 3 spaces up and I hit that bear. Okay, cool. I actually love that.
What do you think the garden at the Guardian's house is for? It's our giant chessboard.
Well, that's canon. Very nice. So, apologies. We're now going to go into.
You got to keep it light in the days of the world, you know.
You really kind of do. You really have to keep it as light as possible. However, apologies. This is where I go into a bit of a monologue. So, on the second day, well, actually, the day after the Guardians have left, so like one pretty much full day after the Guardians have left, windy weather plagues the capital. Far off in the distance, thunder roars in a storm that is getting closer. From the storm, a lone soldier on horseback rides through the plains. He looks as though he's been traveling all night, and both him and his horse nearly collapse to make it through the gate. Daviak, who's been vigilant on the walls since the Guardians left, and that's literally where he spent all of his time, is the first to meet him. He hands him water, but the soldier doesn't drink. His eyes just stare wide forward. And he says, I'm a watchman at the tower, the big tower that summoned all the demons," he says, just completely unblinking. The storm, the storm, it came last night, worse than any we'd seen. Winds picked up so much it ripped our tents from the ground. Tornadoes threw the men off their feet, wrecked our camps, and then the lightning. Once it struck, twice, and then the third time it was so blinding we all had to look away. But when we looked back, the tower, it was, it was, it was gone, just vanished. Storm had wrecked the camp, and I'm the fastest rider of the of my groups, so I came here as quick as I could. The soldier is very quickly sent to a nearby temple for rest. Daviak returns to his vigil at the top of the walls, but all of you, the Drengers of the North, are summoned to the walls. You'd all arrive promptly from your, from your various places and your various means. And as you do, as you arrive at the wall of the city, you see the storm and the storm clouds in the distance are rolling closer and closer. The army is preparing for battle. Hundreds of men and women of all ages rush through the streets, grabbing armor and weapons. The main force of the infantry is gathered outside the gates. Elves, dwarves, and the army of the capital, and a collection of war mages, lined up outside the city with all of you, Daviak, archers and other spellcasters are gathered upon the walls. This is a huge effort that stretches all the way across the walls of the capital. By the time the army is assembled, the storm has morphed into a just sort of thick, dark fog that rolls hungrily across Ambyr's grasslands, consuming all in its wake. However, a few miles from the city wall, the fog stops. Within the fog, you see a flash of lightning strike once, strike twice, and upon the third time, the fog is suddenly banished, and TIamat's gargantuan tower appears before your very eyes. The miles-tall walls cast a long shadow over the land like a long, dark scar. There is a silence that spans over the land, like a calm before the storm, or the breath before a scream. The pause is long enough for Daviak to gather you all and say, "I know most of you aren't religious, but I think a prayer is in order. Mars, god of war, Talos, god of protection, give us your blessing today, please. It looks like we're going to need it. If you can give us anything, if any god can give us anything, any strength, any sign, now would be a really good time to use it." Though none of you know this, far away in the distant realms of Celestia, Mars and his son Talos look down upon the material plane. Their power is spread thin. Every soldier in the army is praying for strength, for guidance, and this is not the only war in the many realms where their powers are being asked for. There is little they can do but give what guidance and strength they have left to give. But then enters another creature, a creature that sort of resembles a reptilian version of a centaur with a long, sort of many-legged lizard body and the body of a lizard folk type creature at its top. And it wears a long black cloak and wields a wicked glaive. "Seku," Mars says. "What on earth are you doing here?" Seku looks at them both and smiles and says, "I have come to offer my aid to those that require it. My champion has shown me that this land of this civilization might be well worth saving. And so I offer myself and my power to you. Once again, old master." Seku approaches the two of them, looks down to the material plane, and sort of taps his glaive upon the ground, casting a spell. Back in the capital, Daviak sort of finished his prayer and he's sort of closed his eyes and he's waiting for something, any sign, anything to show that the gods are watching over them today. And of course, it is Seku that answers. And before you all, a beam of light shines down from the earth, and as it dissipates, you see a tall form of a crocodilian lizard folk. His scales, as well as his Aztec-looking armor, are darker than that of his counterpart. He looks up at you all, regarding you as a friend. And so it was that Ryman, the twin of Kaiman, was born. And that is how I'm explaining Kaiman being here, so Ryan doesn't have to learn anyone else. You all watch as the tower just sort of stands there in the distance, and obviously still hovering above the ground. And all of a sudden, after this, and Ryman introduces himself to you, and there's, the army is sort of set up outside. You see that from the tower, from the very base of the tower, there's just this vibration, this sort of almost like wave of just air. And again, it goes once. It brushes upon the land to the point where, after a few seconds, you will physically feel this rush of air from miles away. The second time, brushes upon the land. The third time, there is no air strike. There is nothing other than a loud crack. And at first, you almost think it's thunder. But you quickly realize it's not thunder, as the land beneath the tower physically rips and tears open. A red light bursts from beneath, from within this open, within this crack, within this opening, within this scar upon the land. And the skies begin to turn red. And you all watch as slowly, first you see a couple, or from here they almost look like insects, but sort of like couple, and then a few dozen more, and a few dozen more, and it almost looks from here like ants crawling out of a hill. But these are not ants, obviously. These are fiends from hell, and they are emerging faster and faster and more numerous as time goes by. They're far away. They begin forming up far, far away in the distance. Is at this point, sort of, the armies are fully assembled. Generals are sort of walking by, and sort of captains and things are walking by, giving rousing speeches to their troops. This is where I ask any of you: have any of you got any rousing speeches you would like to give to your troops for some super inspiration?
I had quite a simple one for Gary's Blades, which was, I don't know, how many would you think there would be?
Gary's Blades, there is enough for one unit, but it's not a massive unit. I'm going to say there's a good 30 to 40 of them.
Okay. I thought I had more. So this is going to be as cool.
Maybe about 50. I'll say a solid 50.
So I think she'll just turn to them and then just,
at least in this unit, they're spread all along the capital's walls. But yeah.
So she'll turn to the 30 or 40 with her, and then just raise her blade to her forehead, and then just shout "ooh," and then throw the blade down to the side in the swoop, and then they all copy it, and it's like a proper ring as it all comes out in unison.
Yeah, it's just like this almost like choir of blades singing as they just swing across. That's very, very cool. And they all just assume then this sort of warrior stance. I like that. That's pretty cool. Anyone got anything? Anyone got anything else they can offer in this trying time that the troops need it most?
Kaiman, not really to anyone, just so that he knows what's happening.
I think you mean Ryman.
Yes,
Ryman better be throwing out some hot bars right now.
He's just making sure he understands what's going on. It's like, we fight, we survive, and then we drink. Okay.
As Ryman, you are an exact copy of Kaiman. You have all of Kaiman's memories. You have all of Kaiman's everything. All of his gear. I think you should be able to see I made a copy of Kaiman's sheet called Ryman. Use that one. So, because obviously Kaiman actually took some damage in the last thing, and I want to remember that for when we get back to him. Yeah, I like that. Any final ones, or we getting into it?
Nevado's not much on the speeches, so I didn't prepare anything for him.
That's fair enough. In which case, I'll take you over to the battlefield as it stands. Can you just all make sure that you can actually move the tokens that are there for you? So, for example, the elves are the ones with the green thing. Can you move the elves? Yeah, everyone can move their tokens.
I can't move the Dragonborn one.
I knew there was
I
something I forgot.
can't move any of them.
I can move mine, boom.
Fantastic. So you should now be able to move the Dragonborn one.
Yeah.
Luke, you are the regular people. You should. I don't know why that's not done it for that one. That's a bit weird, but I'll just quickly amend that. So you should now be able to move the humans about. Spellcasters controlled by determined in character settings. So yeah, so you can or can't move the spellcasters. Spellcasters should be the purple ones.
Who are you speaking to? Me.
Whoever was the
Spellcasters,
spellcaster.
yeah.
Yeah. Sam. Sam. Yeah,
Yeah,
you
okay.
can move all of them.
Okay, good.
Good. And then it's just these two humans on the side that need to be allocated to JJ, who I believe said no, to Luke.
We?
Armies.
Looks like I can move them now.
Yeah, awesome. Okay. So the way this is going to work, I actually had to go back and rewatch the very first original siege we ever did, which, believe it or not, was episode 12 of this campaign. So that was over 120 episodes ago, which was absolutely mental to think about.
Bloody hell.
Indeed. But we're going to go off similar rules to that. So basically what's going to happen is you guys are going to roll an... we're not going to do initiative. They're the attackers. They're the instigators. They will go first. And you guys will all go as one big unit. So you guys can plan and sort of do things that way. So you guys are all sharing one initiative. Like JJ can move one of his
So,
troops, and then Luke can move all of
Turn-based
his.
strategy. I like that.
Yeah. Very sort of turn-based strategy sort of thing, but very similar to D&D. You know, each thing has an action, a bonus action. You know, reactions. There are attacks of opportunity and things like that. The only other thing that is slightly different is the way attacking works, and that is so. If you, I'd be very surprised if you remembered, but there's obviously you still roll to hit, and you can hit and miss. But if you roll beneath their AC by 3, so say their AC is say 13, and you roll 10, 11, 12, you still do half damage. So that's sort of meant to represent, because obviously in war, it's not just as simple as you hit and you miss. Two whole groups are going at each other. Actually, sorry, it's 4 below. 4 below. Apologies, 4 below. So if their AC was 14, 10, 11, 12, 13, that would be sort of what's called a half hit, and you would deal half damage on your attack. Yeah, again, meant to represent, two large groups of troops going at each other. If you roll a nat 1, however, they get to attack you. So be warned. Roll a nat 1, they get to attack you. That's sort of meant to be like a counter attack. Sort of meant to represent, you going into battle with these things and getting absolutely squashed, as often sometimes can happen in military warfare, things like that. Trying to keep it as basic as possible. As I said in the message, all of you have individual troops in individual units that you can obviously use. JJ's got the Dragonborn because, Doc spent a lot of time up there. Luke, at the very top of the round, or whenever you guys want on your turn, can unleash a big cannon on a set of units. Generally, the cannon strikes, and I'll really just quickly draw it up, actually, so that maybe you have a thing to use.
He's probably negotiated some sort of nuke here from you.
No, because of the weird way hexes work. This is what is considered a large area. So it's this. If you guys can sort of see that above, that's what's considered a large area, and that is how big Luke's essentially airstrike is. He can do at the start of every round. Obviously, enemies get to make a saving throw to get half damage, but otherwise Luke gets to use the essentially like the the Vengeance, the massive ship, is on the port. Daviak has instructed a bunch of enchantment wizards and things to, while obviously Aramis is away, go in and tamper with his cannons so that they can shoot a bit longer, and so they're essentially firing over the city and smacking the city.
That American ship did in World War II, where they fill one side with water to tilt it in the water so that it can fire further.
Yeah, it's very much like that, and they've got like people scrying on the battlefield so that they can sort of see. They've been able to range their shots, and they can be like, all right, that hit there, so pull it back 12 degrees, blah 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 blah. It's all very cool war shit. Obviously, Giri has her blades, and because I thought, well, Kaiman obviously came in quite late to this campaign, who better for Kaiman to play than another big reptilian scaly boy? So Kaiman gets to play the big gold dragon Silriel, the one who had previously sort of helped recruit with Vaishal and things like that. We'll go into the battle in just 1 second, but before we go into the battle, as obviously all their units are lining up, you watch sort of, everything sort of goes quiet for a minute and they don't charge. And you wonder why they all stop so far away from the city, why they all sort of stop moving. And you can see the sweat sort of dripping off the soldiers, and the air around the city does get actually warmer. It's almost like hell is bleeding with this realm. And then you watch as something rises from the crack in the ground. Something much more frightening than any army you've ever seen. A huge creature, almost like a demonic whale. The way I sort of think of it is like, the Chitauri Leviathans from the first Avengers movie. Imagine that, but instead of all the metal plates, it's like, instead of all the metal plates down their back, it's like their rib cage growing out of their back and round, and they got lots of spikes up on their back. These huge infernal leviathans floating through the air fly up and out of the infernal portal. One flies up and sort of goes slightly right. One flies up and goes slightly left. And then another one flies up and out. And this other one is much larger than the other two. Much, much larger. So large, in fact, that upon its back, you can see what almost looks like a small parliamentary building. Almost like a small sort of version of Westminster Abbey style building, like that very sort of Gothic architecture and everything built literally upon this flying creature. And as it arises and you see it, you hear in your heads the voice of Borisov, the creature that you let live, and he says, "I told you I would be back. This time I burn this world to the ground. No cheap, no teleporting. I am to." And it is with that, as these huge leviathans rise from the crack in the ground, and one of them opens its mouth and just this black smog just bellows out. We're going to get into the thick of this. So on the first turn, obviously they're attacking, they're instigating. So essentially their first turn, they end up, I'm going to say that these things get to move sort of halfway. So their whole force then begins to push into an attack. And you can see in the first wave of their attack, smaller creatures like hellhounds and other sort of skittering infernal creatures, faster ones, push up first. But mainly it's a large troop of hellhounds, and they get to move, I'm going to say they get to move in this first round half their movements. They get to move up to here. So you guys have a sort of round to try and figure some stuff out and place yourselves as you think best. And just behind them, you can see there is this group as well of, they almost look like centaurs, but sort of infernal centaurs. They're very, very cool. You should be able to zoom in on the token to see. Yeah, they're like these horrible sort of infernal centaurs with these huge horns that rise up upon their heads, these sort of very dark, infernal faces, and they each wield these massive spikes. But that's going to be their first turn. No artillery or anything or range just yet. They're just sort of getting into the battle. It is now up to you guys. What would you guys like to do?
All right. First things first. Analyze the terrain. What's this on the left, Ben?
That thing is like a large cliff, so you guys can't get up that side. But obviously,
Which side's the high bit?
The high bit is on this side. Yeah.
All right, so I wouldn't be an advantage to us there.
So clump of trees on the right, that counts as cover, but also that counts as cover from like ranged stuff.
What's this on the left?
That is like a section of like farmland. Moving through there would be sort of the same as moving through difficult terrain. Unless it gets burned or whatever, then it's fine. But that is a sort of that's sort of like farmland, large sort of growing roots and barley and wheat and big sort of fields of that sort of impedes your movement a little bit.
What do we think? I don't think there's anywhere better than where we are at the moment. By the time we get over to that bit where it's difficult terrain, I think they'll be on us. So they could probably burn it to some capacity, and then we're very far away from our sort of reinforcement.
I don't think there's any benefit in changing too much about how we're laid up.
Probably not, no.
I think forwards and spread a little.
What do you think? Just create a little bit.
What's the biggest range people have?
The archers have got 15 hexes.
15?
Yeah, which gets to about here, I think.
You've got 15 hexes?
Just on the
Yeah.
Yeah.
Longbows.
Fucking hell, I've only got 4. 4 hexes and then melee.
Teeny little short bows.
Yeah, those are meant to be like sort of I guess the submachine gun of bows.
I mean, I've got 12 with disadvantage, so.
What's yours with disadvantage, Luke?
I didn't put disadvantage ones on there. 15 is just their range, and that's it.
Okay, that's fair. All right. I think Jojo's probably right. Push up a little bit, and then leave a bit of space for our archers to pepper them while they come in, and then we can engage.
Cool. Yeah.
I reckon we'll move up 2. I don't know if someone can move it all up as 2.
Are you moving the whole thing, like the entire thing?
Yeah, unless well, we might spread out a little bit actually. So
I've moved mine out a bit, but I can move them back in.
Okay.
I don't know what you think.
No, I like that. I think so. I can attack. Mages can attack at 6 hexes, but I'm very weak up front. But I can sort of shield all of you as well. Well, I can shield individual units of yours. So I think if we can get a line of melee attackers, then I can try and sweep up the back.
Is this Gear's blades down here?
Yes, it is.
Why don't they? Yeah, I don't know.
They can attack 3 times. I don't know if that's good in comparison to all of your stuff.
Yeah, I've got 2 at most.
Most people have 2, except for the dwarves, but you can only attack once.
Okay, so
but they're a big heavy hitter.
Ben. I don't know whether that's intended.
Oh, actually, yeah, the Dragonborn can also only attack once, but they've got other spells and certain things they can do. They can be doing.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't know if Giri's good as like a shock trooper or the blades rather are good as like a shock trooper at the side, just kind of clean stuff up.
How's their movement? Can they?
5. I don't know. Again, don't know if that's good. It's more than the mages.
So I think the dwarves move at 4. Everything else moves at 5, except for the elves who move at 6.
The capital army is 4 as well.
I have 5.
Oh, okay. Capital army is 4.
I'm just wondering if you wanted to move Giri's blades just slightly more into the middle so that they've got the ability to support in other areas.
Yeah, that's fair. I think that's a good idea.
Maybe put them between the mages.
Yeah, like that.
I might move the Dragonborn into the middle because they're quite support based as well. So
yeah,
they could.
And then if you push these elves back here, that's quite a. You can only these units can only get attacked on 3 sides, which is better than that one can get attacked on 4 at the moment.
Yeah,
one up here.
I don't know how much capability Ryan's got and stuff. whether the dragon should be leading.
Is it strong, the dragon, Ryan? I hope so.
Here it is. What do you need to know?
Well, have they got good hit points and a good armor class?
Armor class 18.
Yeah, that's good.
22. Saving.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's as you expect a dragon should be. It's got it's just got one attack, I think, but it can make like 2 attacks because obviously it's a dragon, and it's got a breath weapon as well, and I believe it has a fly speed of 8.
Okay, so if it's
very speedy dragon, and unlike anything else, it can fly, so it can be above the main source of damage.
And the spell.
Oh, there shouldn't be spells.
Oh.
I forgot to take those off. Apologies.
There is no spells. Ben, don't look at his character sheet.
Yeah, I forgot to take those off the character sheet. Apologies, because I use Vishal's stat block as a base for this one.
Alright, we happy with it? So
Yeah, the dwarves, Ryan, are they more tanky?
Yeah. No range. Just very good melee though, and a buff.
Yeah. So as a bonus action,
the
dwarves can rally anyone within a 1 hex square around them, and and I believe they're also resistant to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing.
So we want them in the thick of it, really.
Has everyone got range except the dwarves then?
Yeah.
The infantry don't have range.
Yeah, that too.
But you've got infantry and archers though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got archers on the walls,
Yeah.
and then I've got the 2 infantry units that I've put out on the flanks at the moment.
Okay. Yeah. Do we want to bring Ryan? Do you want to bring your dwarves sort of up front here then?
yeah, I think that leaves them a bit too exposed unless we move everything up with them, because we can get it so that they're only able to be attacked. The formation we had before, it leaves the flanks a bit weak, but the central bit, they can only be attacked on 3 sides if you push your units there and there.
Like
and then
put the infantry there and there.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and then that way there's only 3 attackers on each dwarf, and the one in the middle can only do one of them. So it just reduces the number of attacks they can take. And then maybe Geary's blades come in here, and then the 2 mages going like that, and it's just like a bit of a cluster, hard to break down.
Yeah.
And then I'll apply my bonus. The mages will do on each dwarf at the front, so they now take half damage from anything and stuff like that, and everyone's from saving throws.
Awesome. Alrighty. Is that where you guys are leaving it?
I still like the way you said that.
Come on.
Here comes the nuke.
So, if that's you guys' turn, if everyone's happy with that, these 3 are going to move up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This one's going to go 1, 2, 3. Realize it's difficult terrain, so 4, 5, 6. 1, 2. And this one's going to go in here, and basically these 2 are just going to run into here and start burning this whole thing to the ground. You just watch as from the sort of fields and reeds and stuff, and wheat and barley and everything, just fires begin lighting as many hellhounds just go in and just start using their fire breath to just decimate this land. And you see a large explosion as the house just lights in a huge explosion. The armor knights, as they're called, the large centaur-like demons, go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But this one here is going to move, so it wouldn't go. So 5, 4. So it's actually going to move around there. And this one is going to move around the right over here. So it sort of gets to there. And then you can see just this cloud, or several just clouds in the air. And you're not entirely sure what they are. They almost look like clouds of bugs from way back here. But you soon begin to realize that they are, in fact, clouds of imps. Lots of small, just skittery, tiny little devils that are all vying against each other to get just that one kill that'll impress their master and level them up to the next stage to give them more power. Lots of tiny, tiny little things. You imagine they're probably quite weak, but in their weakness, there is maybe obviously there's a lot of them. That's yeah, actually, I'll tell you what, these ones are going to dash. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think these ones will probably just get to like, using their action and dashing and fire breathing and everything. They just get to the sort of end. These Armor Knights, however, are going to hold back. But that is pretty much where they're going to end things on their turn. And it is now once again back to all of you. So this, you all see just, these large groups of hellhounds charging towards you, and they're right in front of you. What would you like to do?
Unload.
How accurate are the archers?
The archers are very accurate. So the archers are basically the same as any other troop when it's attacking. Obviously, they've got a range of 15 and they can see anything. Yeah, no, and obviously they still do damage. The thing about the archers is, obviously, if it's a ranged attack and you roll a 1, they can't hit you back, because that's not how hitting things from ranged works. That's the only difference, really.
Well, they'd like to go for some of these hellhounds.
Alrighty. Which ones are they going to go for? Top, middle, bottom, bottom.
Top and the bottom.
Top and bottom. All right. Roll to hit.
Actually, no, take it back. That one on the flank and this one in the middle.
Roll to hit. All right. If you can't move the dragon, I got you, bro. Uh, 16 does hit a bunch of hellhounds for 6 piercing damage on the top one. Nice. Pretty decent hit. And on the bottom one, yes, a 20. Well, actually, no, the second one will go on the top one, I imagine. So 20, so 6 plus 8 is 14 damage. Ooh, they're not looking good. And the bottom one's 15 damage. And that is exactly what you need to kill them. However, actually, no, you don't get advantage. The bottom ones will miss. My bad. That's a natural 1. So the bottom ones have been dealt 5 damage. Top ones have been dealt 14 damage. That's the archers. What about anyone else? You got dwarves right in front of them. You got a group of the capital army right in front of them. What are you all doing?
Yeah, the capital's going to also take a swing.
Alrighty, take a swing against the ones at the bottom. Go for it.
Yeah.
I can help out, but if you guys can deal with these ones, I've got some stuff that should hopefully slow down anyone else that comes.
20 and 5 slashing damage on the bottom. Nice. And an 18 with 9 on the bottom one. Yeah. So the capital army, obviously these hellhounds are rushing forward. Capital army, lots of sort of men with shields and stuff. And they managed to, just before these things obviously get to them, they managed to you just see men begin to hack them down. But unfortunately, the thing with hellhounds is when you hack them down, these men are stabbing into them. You watch as parts of their body just and explode. And you imagine this is part of the infernal tactics of sending these hellhounds, even before their cavalry, is almost like a big shock troop. So can I get this infantry unit to make me a dexterity saving throw?
Okay. Uh,
16. That is a success. So they
Seven.
will take 4 points of damage. 4 points of fire damage. As this group of hellhounds just explodes right in front of them. Who else? So that's the. I mean, that's the capital army pretty much done unless there's any movement. What's everyone else doing? Dwarves making some attacks. Alrighty.
Top one.
22 with 16 piercing damage. I mean, that'll do it in one. Can the dwarves make me a dexterity? Can those sets of dwarves make me a dexterity saving throw, though, please? 13. That is unfortunately. Oh, actually, no. 13 is exactly what you need. Pass. My apologies. So you've passed. So you take half damage on. So you take also 4 points of damage. And the bottom set, assuming they're attacking too. 20 and 13 piercing damage. Have these ones been damaged yet? No, they haven't. So 13, they're still up. They're still kicking. But they're don't need to roll a dex save on those ones. These hellhounds haven't been defeated yet. Though they are certainly looking their numbers are certainly dwindled. What's everyone else is doing? So that's unless there's anything else for the dwarves, but
Are we breaking ranks to deal with these people? I can hit this guy from range.
Go for it.
Yeah,
go for
alright.
it, and then I can hold for anything else that comes in because I've got some range.
Yeah. Can the guy on the right make a dex save, Ben?
can the guy on the right make a dex save? Of course. Hellhound on the right. That's a natural 1 on its dex save.
Fails. Okay,
It does
3d8
indeed
force
fail.
damage. 23.
Ooh.
23. That's very, very good. So you watch the spellcasters just begin, flinging sort of. I imagine this is the ones just sort of behind the troops, just flinging like arcane bolts and fireballs and sort of all sorts of stuff over the main force of the army, and this troop of hellhounds just gets exploded, and no one's within 1 hex of them. So the fire damage doesn't do anything to anyone. It only had 1 HP left. Poor little hellhound. You have another set of spellcasters to do something if you'd like.
I'll look at this one on the right, make a dex save as well, please.
Of course. Oh, that's a lot better. That's an 18.
I believe that part DC 15, yeah. Still takes half damage though.
Okie dokie.
Oh, these rolls are good, my man.
Those rolls are excellent. And as this one gets destroyed, can the dwarves in front of them make a dexterity saving throw? As they are exploded right in front of them. A 17, that does pass. So that will be 3 points of damage to those dwarves.
3. Where do I put the damage?
So put it on the actual token itself. So if you see actually, that's one thing I meant to do for most of these. Just checking most of these tokens to make sure. If a good way of tracking the damage for each token is just get the damage of the thing, and if you click the token, you can see there's like 3 little bubbles at the top. You can click one of those and input some input numbers or whatever. That's how I track HP for monsters on the field. So might be good for you guys for that. I think I did it for most troops, but I think there was some which I added later on, which I never because I did have a different. I had a different token for the dwarves and the knights, I think, but then I changed it, so that's why I think some of them don't have the HP values on there. So I think those have 60, and those have 60. So yeah, I've hit points of 50, right?
And the top one's taking 4 damage, the bottom one is taking 4.
So then we go that's 46. Yeah. So you should be able to see that now, Ryan. I've added that on onto the tokens for you. Right. Who else? I believe that's the spellcasters, dwarves, Ambyr's
I'm
army.
gonna just redo the old bonus action abjuration on the 2 dwarves. So
On the 2 dwarves, nice. So that's I believe that's resistance to damage. I believe resistance to all damage and
advantage
yeah,
on saving throws.
an advantage on saving throws. Nice.
Um,
Awesome.
I got a query about the Dragonborn, Ben. I've got 2
Yes.
abilities that say once per day per unit.
Yes. That obviously you've only got 1 unit on the Dragonborn, so that's just for that unit. But it means
Okay.
that only once per day they get to use that thing. I've forgotten what that thing is, but yeah, they only get to use
I
it once per day.
can grant a bunch of people an additional D4 for 1 turn, and I can do a big AoE once.
I see. Yes.
So I didn't know if because one of them was a buff, whether it was like I could put that buff on one person on each group once.
Right. I see. No. Yeah. That's once per day for that unit of Dragonborn. They get to use the thing.
Okay. In which case, I'm just going to use the Dragonborn's bonus action healing word to heal up the group of dwarves.
4.
For 4.
So Ryan, you can heal the group of dwarves in front of you 4 hit points as you just hear a lot of, within the ranks of these people, you just hear a lot of like whispering, sort of draconic voices, and these dwarves start feeling a little better. Some more wounds patched up and things like that. Nice. Who else? Anyone else?
Luke, do you want to use your sniper?
Oh, yes. My ballistic missiles, please.
Indeed. Can you not move that? That's very annoying. That's very, very annoying. Where would you like to put it? Or I'll tell you what. If you could draw a thing of the same shape, then you can move it around yourself.
Sure.
I was just going to move the elves onto a slightly wider front, and have them all ready in action to shoot should something come within their range.
Nice. Kind of looks like a big ballista.
We're 1 dragon move away from an arrow.
Spear formation.
Well, Ryan, you're in charge of the dragon.
Yeah, the dragon will be like shooting off like that. I think maybe
Nice. That is certainly a shape, Luke. Certainly a shape. But yes, nice. So you're putting it over those 2. So they need to make a DC 15 dexterity saving throw. Both of those Ammonites. One of them fails, and the other one rolls a natural 1. So can you roll me 4d6 damage, please?
I would love to.
18. So each of these take 18 points of damage as just all sorts of cannon fire and hellfire begin raining down on them. As and you watch as these Ammonites, this charging group of cavalry, just gets absolutely decimated on the field. Cool. Any more for any more? Or do you believe you guys are done?
That's it.
I think we're good, baby.
Awesome. So we go again. So the Hellhounds go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But of course they're going to dash. 1, 2. That one's going to get right in there, and that one's going to get right in there, and just sort of.
Oh, he has completed us.
Can I
just
take a shot at each as they? Or I think I can take probably 2 shots at this one and then 1 at this one as they come in.
Is that a reaction you can do?
No, that's my held action. The elves were holding their action.
Oh yes, the elves. Of course, yes. Elves holding their action to shoot. Yeah, go for it.
go for it.
I'll do top one first. Do the
9
one,
misses, I'm afraid. But a 25 does hit, so that's 9
and
points of
then
damage
the
to
bottom
this
one.
hellhound. There's a bottom one? There's only 2 of them.
I've got 3 groups.
Oh, right. You meant right. I thought you meant. I thought you were talking about the archers. 16 does also hit and deals 5 points of damage. Ooh, not quite enough to kill it, but certainly enough to put them on the last couple of. These hellhounds are flagging as they're as they're moving closer. Nicely done. Wait, was all of them at one? Was all of them at one
The
of the
first one
hellhounds?
was at the top hellhound. The second 2 were at the bottom one.
Right, I see. So the first one, yeah. Okay, so I did get it right. Luke's just said all of his stuff's just frozen, so we're going to, I guess, just continue with their turn and hope he gets back soon. I just had to choke out the laptop to get it to restart. Right. So yes, the charge continues, and these Armonites charge 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're not going to dash. They're actually going to hold their thing. But what's the range on? Let me just check the stat block here. Beep. Just need to check a stat block a second. But if it wants to be any quicker, please. What does it say on that one? Also doesn't say on that one. That's the one I wanted. No, not quite long enough. It's 3 hexes. I thought maybe it was 4. Then this one right here is actually going to dash 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, actually, he's going to stay there. The imps progress up, and they are actually going to dash 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can see this cloud of imps flying over the battlefield. They're probably flying about sort of 30 feet up in the air. So obviously, high above the range of any of the troops. And now we see some of the main force, and I'm going to say that with sort of their full turn, the main force gets back here, and you can see this army of sort of like 3 large sort of units. So what you see is these like 3 units of, they're called Meragon, basically like demons and devils of soldiers who have fought only for sort of greedy purposes and fought for evil and fought for of greed and self was it what to be fought for themselves basically for sort of evil purposes, and obviously have gone to hell, and now they are forced that these metal masks have been like branded onto their face, so they all look exactly the same, a sort of punishment for trying to be greedy and sort of stand out in the sort of evil industries of mercenary work and warriors and things like that. And these legions of Meragon are being commanded right behind them by a single Amnizu, it's called. And an Amnizu is like a commander. So this commander is being very like God of War, very 300 Xerxes style. They're sort of on these plinths being carried by other elves, and it's got this really like absurdly long whip that it can use to whip out in the legions in front of it. And you imagine that this Amnizu is granting the things in front of it some kind of buff, or any devils around it some kind of buff. And also you can see that rolling sort of next to the Amnizu and behind it are these like infernal siege weapons, almost like large infernal cannons or trebuchets type of thing, that sort of have these large balls of fire that are within them. But I'm going to say it's their essentially turn to get up to there. But this is the sort of main force of the army here. I'll say it's now back with you guys. So we're back with you guys. What would you like to do? You can now see, most of the large force of the army your way. How would you like to proceed?
If anyone else disagrees, please say. But I'm wondering if we wipe out these hounds and then maybe push up and try and, if we can get up here, we can they can't really attack from that bit. So we push up to here. I don't know. I'm not convinced it's the best idea, but
I was gonna have the dragon just holding like this.
I mean that's.
Do you want to go first, Ryan?
Yeah.
Dragon in first.
Let's see the destructive power of this thing.
Oh, 3 attacks. Okay.
After Ryan, well, yeah, if Ryan goes first and does the dragon and then the dwarves, we might have a clear
That hits.
ground in front of us to move into.
Hmm.
If not, Luke
Yeah.
can maybe clear the way, and then we can go in from there.
Yeah, I'm just thinking if we can just shut down our kind of attack on our left flank, it gives us a bit more protection.
But are we not then leaving a massive open gap for them to charge into the city?
Well, I'm hoping we'll be a bit of bait, and then also, I mean, if they want to come to the city, we can just pepper them. I don't know. I don't know. Depends how. If the dragon eliminates a lot on this flank, then maybe it's not an issue anymore. But
the dragon nearly with those 2 hits, very, very nearly annihilates this one group. Unfortunately, that final attack, what was that? Yeah, the AC is 16, I'm afraid. So the 14 does not. Actually, their AC is 15, sorry. 14 does miss. That bite claw did not quite work out. So with the way the dragon works, Ryan, just so you're aware, you can either do the breath weapon or multi-attack. So you can either do the breath weapon or you can breathe fire.
what's the range on the fire?
The fire is just one hex in front of them, but obviously it's a big dragon fire breath, and obviously because it's a fucking gold dragon, bypasses resistances to fire, so it's still very good against demons and devils and stuff. As you would expect for an ancient gold dragon. That's the dragon's turn. What about everyone else? JJ, you believe? But I'll actually let you guys just go.
I think JJ's idea of letting the doors clear the way is good.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, they've only got melee, so...
They're powerful.
Also, Ryan, whatever damage you took last turn would have been halved. I don't know if we did that.
I don't believe we did, but we'll remember it for this turn. And add, I think the top troop got healed back to full, so that's fine. Bottom troop, add 2 HP back onto them. And then take the turn for the dwarves, Ryan.
Yeah, top one first.
Top one first, attacking the Hellhand above it, I assume?
Yes.
Cool.
Once.
13. Doesn't hit, but it is, I completely forgot this rule myself. It is 3 below the thing, so still roll damage and it deals half damage.
8.
8. Wow. Yeah, that's pretty fucking good with half damage. And the group at the bottom. That is a natural 1, which means they get to attack against you. So let's see if they can try and pull that off. No, unfortunately, they completely whiff their attack. They rolled a 5. So yeah, the dwarves try and sort of slash against this thing, against these things, but unfortunately they just manage to rush inside them. But it's just a horrible melee that goes on there. Who's next?
If the dwarves didn't manage to do some damage, I'll try and buff up this one here.
Okie dokie.
So, long sword.
22 for slashing damage. Nicely done. Yep, definitely a palpable hit. And their second attack, 24. Yeah, definitely another very, very big hit. And it ends up destroying these creatures. So can I get the dwarves and this thing to make me a dex save?
27.
27. Nicely done. Dwarves dex save. 7. So Ryan, you take 8 points of damage. The Capital's army takes 4. But actually, Ryan, you are resistant to damage, so you take 4. Anyway, yeah. Nicely done. That's one of the
Wait.
Capital's army.
Is this the top one? No, the bottom one.
Hmm.
Where? The top one. The top one.
So the other dwarves can attack the middle one.
The other dwarves already went, so all the dwarves already went. We were now sorting out the Capital army.
Oh, and they only get 1 attack each.
Oh yes, of course. Yeah, you've yeah. They only get 1 attack each. That is
Luke, you
yes.
lost your fucking mind, Luke.
Wow, we're pushing up there.
Psych. No, I think maybe we push forward a little bit. Push up, but maybe still hold the center.
Yeah. But look, you're what you doing with your other infantry, Luke?
I don't know whether to come around and help the dwarves.
I
With this
think
helper.
if we can clear that, because I've got range,
Okay.
then I can try and take something down from further away. It's probably the best thing to do.
23.
23 definitely hits, absolutely. 7 slashing damage is indeed enough to kill it. So, God, that is 1 elf, both dwarves, and that capital troop. Can they all make dex saves for me, please?
23.
23, that passes.
11.
Boom.
The
Yeah.
elves fail, and both the dwarves fail. So, that is 7 points of damage for those that failed. Obviously, Ryan, remember yours is half to 3, and for those that passed, that's 3. So
if you've
elves.
got any more movement and come to here, then Gary's blades could come in and take the center, and then we've got our melee like in a line across the front.
Yeah. I've also got the archers.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if the dwarves move up 1 more as well.
Yeah.
They're the beefy ones, and I'll keep reinforcing them.
Yeah.
So Ryan stepped the dwarves forward 1 hex, I think.
And then if mages come here, I can actually get shots off, and I'll put them both into this front centaur. So
Nice.
2 dex saves from him.
2 dex saves from him, absolutely. That one is a 16, and that one is a 6.
So he failed. So let's say pass this first one. 12 damage, so halved 6.
2, 6, yeah.
And then he failed this second one, so I hope it's good. 16, that's good.
Yeah, it gets absolutely decimated. Again, this sort of arcane bolts fly over, and there's just this big sort of arcane cloud of sort of multicolored mist, and then when it appears, you just see a lot of demons on the ground. Nicely done.
Sorry, same again for the dwarves. Just make them both resistant stuff.
Yeah, nice.
Can the archer ping this boy here?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. 19 and 6 piercing damage. That definitely hits, and that does do, in fact, 6 piercing damage. Nice. And
what's the rule of moving through allies in such a big unit?
I would say that I will allow it because this is like, these people are like, within these unit spaces, they're both sort of there's room for them to be spaced out, but there's also room for them to sort of close into a shield wall sort of thing. So I'll allow it.
Like units
I'll
forming
allow moving
lines
through
and
other.
moving
Yeah,
through.
the only one I won't allow is you can't move through the dragon space
That
because
makes sense.
obviously you can't move through a massive dragon.
Or if
But
it's
that's
airborne.
obviously if it's airborne, you can move underneath and through its space. That's obviously fine.
Okay.
Sam with the stupid questions. And yes, that definitely hit Luke, and it dealt the 6 piercing damage. Not quite dead. Looking fairly hurt. Looking bloody, definitely.
Just checking on the character sheet. It says each capital army unit takes 2 attacks.
Yeah. So each, obviously, yeah. So the infantry, each unit can take 2 attacks, and the archers can both take 2 attacks. Yeah,
Okay,
you've got that right.
Cool. So then, can the other lot of archers fire into this guy up here?
Yeah. 25 and 8. Oh, that is much better. So yeah. Actually, I'll tell you what. That first attack would do it. Would get them. So do you want to redirect that second attack?
Yeah, I guess just go for this middle.
That
Beat.
middle set of imps. Yeah. And as this sort of rain of arrows flies into the cloud of imps, you just watch, very much like someone spraying bug spray at a cloud of bugs. They all just fall from the sky in a rain of bugs, in a rain of imps. They are a very, very weak unit, but as you can see, there's quite a few of them, and they're all in the sky.
And I've positioned the ballistic missiles on one of the back units.
Yep. That just has free reign over the terrain because it's a massive fucking cannon. So that is a dex save from them. Amnizu is going to roll an 18. The top Maragon is going to roll a 6. Bottom Maragon is going to roll 11. So I believe the Amnizu passes, but the 2 Maragons both failed. So roll me 4d6. 12, nice. So that's 12 points of damage to that one. 12 points of damage to that one. But only 6 to that big boy. Nice.
I feel like we're doing well, but I don't know what else Ben's going to bring out.
More waves.
Well, obviously this is...
Are we trying to survive a certain amount of time? Or?
So you are trying to defeat a certain amount of forces.
Okay.
So I'll tell you now. There's only a small amount of troops to go after these, and then you're good. Pretty much, or is I have to check my notes, but I'm pretty sure this is pretty much it.
Ben turns to his second page, which he forgot about. Nothing but reinforcements.
You're halfway through.
No, there is there is still a small amount to go, but obviously then that is it. And depending on how you fared against these amount of troops, how many you've got through the gates, that will essentially equate to a certain amount of then enemies you'll have to fight as your characters before then something else is going to happen. That's pretty much it. I did toy with the idea before of having like the big Leviathan thing slowly encroaching over the battlefield, and you had to. That was basically your timer, but I couldn't quite get that to work in my head. So we're going to go with this way for now, and you just got to imagine that thing slowly coming closer and closer. Cool. Is that everyone's turn? I believe.
I still have things.
There we go. What would you like to do?
So I'm going to take a shot at this guy, or 2 shots at this guy.
Which guy was that again? Sorry, the one at the bottom.
The Ammonite.
Yes. Yes, that is 7 points of damage. That does hit.
An 11.
Unfortunately, that misses, and that is not 3 below.
Yeah.
No, 4 below their AC. Does actually hit. 4 below their AC. So half damage. So that's 2 damage.
Sweet. Okay, then these guys are going to come forward. And they're going to shoot at this group of imps. First attack.
24, 7 points of piercing damage. Second attack does half. So you're very, very lucky. They only have 8 HP. And the first attack obviously deals with most of them. The second attack is 3 below, and obviously even the half damage takes them out. So just this rain of arrows. Most of them miss, but a lot of them do go through and take them out.
Yes, they only miss because so many were killed in the first strike, obviously.
Oh, of course, yes.
Then they're going to bonus action dash and just come back into formation, and then these guys need to come up just one more square, and they're going to shoot 2 shots at the group of imps that are parallel.
Okie dokie.
An 8.
8 misses, I'm afraid.
24.
But the 24 does get them with 4 piercing damage.
And then the Dragonborn, they're melee, so they're not much use at the moment, but they can heal, so they're going to heal the dwarves on the front line for 4 again.
4 again. Not bad. Nice. Is that everyone? I believe it should be.
I think so.
Awesome. And I'll tell you what, might that be people fancy a quick break?
I think that's good. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Awesome. We'll get to a quick break, and hopefully now that everything's sort of on the field and ready to go, and you guys have got used to these guys, we'll get through this thing. No worries. Hope you're all enjoying this. This. I guess Total War Amber, as I said before, something a bit different. back into this shiznit with, I believe it was. Did you guys? Yeah, you guys just went. So now I believe it is the turn of the enemy. And yeah, as we get back into this space, the war is going on. If your troops were to look left, you can see hordes of enemies charging. Because like this isn't the only troop that's come out. This horde, this wave of demons and devils has spread all along Ambyr. Almost, as I said, going back to that sort of anthill metaphor from before, just trying to overwhelm the capital on all fronts. But very, very luckily, Daviak, being, he used to be a, ranger, and obviously speaking with Mazzy, sort of knew that this is how, demon armies work. So he sort of spread the army quite thinly out, making sure that they could, reinforce, have it from all fronts, because they know as soon as they get in there, obviously they're demons, they have fire, just going to burn the capital to the ground. So as long as they can hold out for as long as possible till, I guess, the Guardians come back, or until they can figure out a way of how to stop this, who knows. But as we come back into the scene, these Ammonites are going to go. And obviously, there's the one at the top, which is going to start just whacking the dragon, because it can. So it gets to make 2 attacks against the dragon, and that is a 14, but then a 22 to hit the dragon. So that's, I believe, 1 hit against the dragon. That is 10 points of slashing damage and 2 points of fire damage to the dragon. Which I believe against the dragon is nullified. Dragon's immune to fire. So if you could just give the dragon 10 points of damage. Then this one down here is going to charge into the fray. And because it has moved X number of hexes, it's moved 3 hexes, it gets to have its charge ability. So its attacks potentially deal a bit more damage. And it's going to attack the... I think he's going to attack the elves on the side and try and go in for a sort of flank, sort of flanking maneuver against the elves with the big main attack. So that's going to be a 18 to hit the elves.
Yep-a-dee-doo-dah.
So their first attack deals. Okay, so that's 7 slashing, and in total 6 fire. And their second attack is going to be, I think, against the elves as well. I think they can really try and double down against these guys. So that's going to be 13 plus. That's going to be 8. I can't do maths. What's 13 plus 5? 18. 18 hits.
It says he can't do maths. Proceeds to do perfect maths.
And then, that's really shit on the damage, though. That's 4 points of slashing and 5 fire. And then, because they are cavalry and they are very, very mobile, they're going to proceed to back up. So they move 4, so they're going to back up over here. I believe you do get an attack of opportunity, but with disadvantage, because of their mobility as cavalry. So that would be against the elves and actually the capital army, if you'd like to take it. 16 does hit, and they will take that 5 piercing damage.
Disadvantage, so it's a 12.
12 actually does half damage then. So that's 2 and 3, but a 21 with 5 slashing damage, funnily enough, actually finishes them off as the last of these things are trying to run away. I guess it would be like the capital army just like, oh no you don't, and some of them just charge forward and manage to get the last few before they manage to escape. Nicely done. Armor at the top has been done. Now I guess it's up to the imps. So these imps are just going to fly 1, 2, 1, 2 and try and just swarm and surround this dragon. And they are, literally just getting up in its space, preventing it from flying, doing anything they can, recognizing that they might die. But hey, one of them might bring down a dragon, and that'd be pretty cool for an imp. So for an imp, that's going to be an 18 on the top one, and the bottom one is going to roll a 14. So I believe that top one hits, and that's just going to be 6 points of slashing damage to the dragon. So Ryan, I notice you haven't actually put the dragon's HP in its token, which makes me think you haven't been tracking its HP. Just a funny feeling. It's got 60. Put 60 in there. But then it took 7 from the previous thing, so that's 53. And then it's just taken 6, so that's 47. There you go. It now has a little HP counter in there. These imps are going to go 1, 2. Yeah. 3, 4, and they're actually going to dash. They're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Because they're flying, they're just going to start flying just straight over you. And actually, these ones are going to do the same thing. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. They're just going to, big just clouds of them flying straight over. And then all of this stuff's going to move up. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And where does that put them in range? Does that put them in range of anything? 3, 4, 8. The front troops can actually do something, and the Amnesu can do something, but weirdly enough, the back troops can't. So the 3 sort of front troops of Meragon are now within range for their heavy crossbow attacks. So they're going to target. The bottom one is going to target the dwarves, I think. The middle one is going to target the top dwarves. And this one is going to target the dragon. So bottom one against the dwarves is 19 plus stuff hits, which is going to be 5. That's 7 points of damage, half to 3 against the dwarves, Ryan. The bottom set. The top set of dwarves, that's 22. That is also going to hit. Oh, that's a much better hit. That's going to be then 6 points of damage to the top set of dwarves.
The dwarves' reaction is when they hit, their AC goes up 3. So my AC is actually 23.
23. Oh, then that means the second attack doesn't hit. But because it's still within the AC range, it's still halved. So I guess you would take 3, but then you're resistant to bludgeoning, piercing, slashing, so that would be half to 1. So the top set of dwarves takes 1 point of damage. Nicely done. And then I believe the 2 Amnesu are in range as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The top Amnesu can't actually do anything. So you watch as these 2 Amnesia units, the middle one and the bottom one, you can see these infernal, like, they're almost like infernal ballistae sort of thing. But the crossbow sort of has a lot like a sort of infernal sort of machinery, and you can see sort of they're pulled back from by these huge gears, and inside them isn't like an arrow. It's like a just large blob of sort of fiery, hot magma-y mass, and they are going to target, I think because they've got the range, they're going to target the door's already been shot. They're going to target the two groups parallel to them, so the 2 capital infantry parallel to them. So that's a 2 on the dice. That misses the bottom one. But the top one, that is going to be an 18 plus 5, which is 23. So that will hit. And that is going to be 9 points of fire damage to the top set of troops. They're gonna have to roll on the next turn to see if they get that ability back, but that is a pretty decent hit. And finally, the final troops make it onto the map, which is just these two. You see this small group of almost like elite fiends with heavy armor, their knights on sort of flaming horses, sort of riding into the battle right at the very back as an almost basically like the cavalry's come in. But again, they have like flaming swords, full sort of black armor. These are Narzagon. These are infernal knights, basically. But that is now finally going to be the end of their turn. You guys are taking a first proper set of damage against these things, and some imps have managed to fly by the top of you. I now leave it up to you guys. What would you like to do?
A lot of our strength lies in our inventory and our melee infantry, and I think they'll be happy to just sit and pick us off. I don't know if we need to approach them. The imps that have gone past us, I've still got a mage unit on the wall, and you've got your archers as well, Luke. So I don't know if we should worry about them too much. It just depends if they come around with the flank, but they're not strong. So
Well, remember, if something's flying, it doesn't even necessarily need to make it through the gate. It just has to make it over the wall in that sense.
yeah, but we
should be able to pick them off.
yes, and I think we shouldn't split the central force to try and deal with that. It's just how much we push up, really, because if they get behind us, then we're in trouble.
Have you got the
But at the moment,
these guys, Luke?
I can hit. Can I hit them? I think they're just out of range. 1, 2.
what with your archers?
9, 10. Yeah, they need to move 1 square forward for me to be able to hit them.
That is just unfortunate. They obviously don't know
I mean-
why you're shoot.
I mean, I do have obviously the ship's cannons, which I can target 1 group of them.
Yeah. If we moved to kind of face these guys, shot these guys with the cannon, and also hopefully these guys will be dead soon. So then it's just we'd be like here facing them.
Yeah,
But then we might be. Would that be like too far away from?
Yeah.
Because more people should be more.
and that was it.
This is now the sort of this is it for now. I suppose this is all you guys have to face in this thing to see how many get into the capital. Obviously, from if this was real life, you would see like another sort of wave coming in after them. This is essentially the first wave of troops coming in.
Do you want
Yeah,
to
we
start
face-
with Luke, and we'll go from there?
Yep. So a longbow.
Because if you don't take them out, Sam can try, or I can try.
Which group of imps is this? Is the top or the bottom?
The bottom.
Bottom. That takes them out in 1. These archers just
What?
pepper this troop and take
Or
them
you
down.
fire with your other one, Luke?
Before I fire.
Yeah, I'm trying to work out if this is. It's hard moving diagonally across the hexagons. Ben, would you say that's within 6, that imp there? Or
1, 2,
done.
3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, I can't see where you get 6 from the middle. From the middle group now.
if I move up here and swap places with your archers, Luke, I can get them within range.
Okay.
So I'll dex save from the imps, please.
Dex save from the imps. I believe imps, because they're tiny, they're pretty good at a dex save. Yeah, it's going to be a 19.
Can I use their bonus action to take a D? Or their
It was a
rather?
reaction to take a
Yeah.
D4 from it. Yeah, absolutely. Roll a D4.
I hope this is good.
2.
17.
So 17.
No. Right. So 3d8 halved. 9.
9. That still takes them out. Yeah, this arcane blast, though a lot of it misses, it's enough, and a lot of the bursts and things have enough radius in and of themselves to take out this cloud, and you manage to stop the impish advance.
Okay, so that frees up one of your archers for a range shot somewhere, Luke.
Okay. I think the only thing I can do. Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, can I target this group of imps here?
Yes, absolutely. Roll to hit. Yeah, 19 definitely does it. 7 damage, not quite enough to take him out on the first hit. Still a few skittering little ones in the group there. But you do obviously have 2 attacks, so
24.
those archers have been very, very good to you so far, Luke.
Oui, oui.
Oh, wee wee.
And then
Nice.
can I? For some reason, I can't move my beautiful drawing.
That's you might just need to zoom in on it. If you're zoomed out too much, it can be a bit fiddly.
Oh, there we go. Of course, it works. Right. Cannon on them, boys, please.
Cannon on them, boys. Righty, so that's 3 7 throws. First Amnizu, that's 16 plus 4, that's 20. The bottom Meragon, that's a 14. Top Meragon, that's a 1. So I believe that once again the Meragon fail, but the Amnizu passes. So that's 7 damage on him, but 14 damage on them. So that's 20. Those Meragon are looking fairly hurt, looking pretty damn hurt. Yeah, I'd certainly say so. How about the rest of you?
Pushing this fucking line up.
Are you? I mean, if you want, I can just grab everyone's tokens and push them up a certain amount.
Are we all happy for that?
Bring everyone up
Yeah.
4.
Yeah.
Dwarves can only go 3.
1, 2. Yeah, dwarves can only go 3, unfortunately,
Oh.
because they're slow and tanky.
Well, let's go through then.
3 is, yeah.
1, 2, 3.
I'm gonna
Go, JJ.
go. I'm gonna go a little bit further, so I'm going to bonus action dash to make it within range, and then take 2 shots at this one on the end.
Okie dokie.
Oh,
Rolled.
for fuck's sake! Oh dear lord!
Unfortunately, a 10 and 11 both miss, I'm afraid, and it's not quite within the 4 bracket.
Use the extra bit of the dash movement to get back, and I'm going to do the same thing. So 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, and take 2 shots against this one.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, there we go.
Hey, that's much better.
15.
9 plus 6 piercing, 15 damage.
Oh,
That'll do. These guys
That'll
get a
certainly
promotion.
do. That's what 60 15 plus 14. Nicely done. That's 29 points of damage. These things are certainly looking very, very rough now. Very, very rough indeed.
which one did you attack, did you?
Pardon? I attacked this
Which
one
one did
at
you-
the end here.
Okay, cool.
And then this one's gone 3. So again, bonus action dash for 1. And then on this one again, 2 attacks. A 13, probably going to miss, and a 25.
Apologies. Which one was this on?
The same one I attacked previously.
Same one you attacked previously.
With the 2 shots,
Yes. So that was the attack. 13 misses, but a 25 hits, and that takes out that group of Meragons.
Cool. And then
As this final spray of arrows takes him down.
come back into position. Dragonborn are just tucking behind and heal up whichever one of the dwarves is looking the weakest. 7. Much better.
7. Nicely done. Any more for any more?
Yeah, absolutely. 1, 2. So mages will go there, and they'll fire off a shot at these guys here. So dex save from them.
Dex save from them, absolutely. That's going to be a 17.
Yeah, that passes. So half damage. So 6.
6 damage to them.
Then they'll pull back and bonus action protect the dwarves again, and then these will move up and attack this one on the left there with another dex save from them.
Another dex save from them. Oh, that's only going to be a 12 this time.
Fail. 16 damage.
16 damage, and this one gets taken out with a combination of the cannon fire and the arcane blasting. They are gone.
So anyway, I started arcane blasting, and then they'll protect the dwarves again as well.
Nice. I believe the arcane blast is set up on the sheet where if you just click it, it should roll the damage.
I prefer rolling pure, Ben.
Ah, fair enough. I respect that. Sam.
Don't give me your algorithms, even though I'm doing it online.
I respect that. Cool. So that is the wizards done. That is the archers done. Anything from the dwarves or the dragon?
The dragon will fire breeze on the top enemy.
Well, actually, I need to double check the dragon because I think I just remembered. I think I changed it at some point. Fire breath, Syria exhales from 1 hex cone adjacent to it. Right, yeah, it was that one. So the fire breath upon which one? The Armonite or the imps?
Oh, no, I'm going to zoom out so I can see the steps. And some fire, I'll do the I'll bite the imps.
Bite the imps. 18 bites an imp.
You snack.
Right now.
But a 12 misses. Do you want to roll the damage for the bite? Second claw attack, though. Holy shit. So yeah, that bite definitely takes out that imp. And then do you want to roll the damage for the claw attack? 9 plus 1 slashing. And I believe that takes out the armor knights as well. So that is indeed them taken out in the top as, yeah, you see Silriel just move over and just a huge group of these imps just sort of all gather together and they see this massive dragon mount. They all just cluster together and go, oh, brother. Bite down. And then with his massive tail, he swings around and just knocks out all these armor knights, clawing what's left of them on the ground, finishing them off, releases a thunderous roar out into the air, fire spraying everywhere.
How does one pronounce "oh brother" in Infernal, Ben?
Pardon my French. Cool. Any more for any more, or are you guys good?
No.
Fantastic. Right. We move then.
I like the slightly asymmetric pattern we've got going.
I don't. It's been bothering me this entire time because JJ's things are one's on top and one's on bottom. Why have you got it like this?
There's always one on top and one on bottom, Ben.
I know.
What if it's sideways?
It looks like a weird fidget spinner.
Well, we're destroying you like a fidget spinner destroys people's free time. So
Don't laugh. That was not funny.
I liked it.
Yeah, I did quite like it.
Thank
I
you.
respect it.
Thank you. Luke's told jokes. It's a young person's joke.
I respect it. Cool. So here's what's going to happen. You've destroyed a lot of the Meragon troops, and they're not very happy about that. The Amnesu.
We've destroyed 2 of 9. It's not that many.
I know, but out of their sort of like combinations of 3. So here's what they're going to do instead. They've somewhat prepared for eventualities such as this. So instead, they're going to move these to there. So they're still covering a lot of ground. as it were. These ones obviously now move at half speed. So instead of moving 4, they can only move up 2. 1, and I'm going to say they move down 1, 2 through the fields. Fields that are mostly burned, but I'm still going to say it's half speed. These ones are going to. I actually think they're pretty content just to lay down some fire, but that cannon fire is really messing them up. But they need to stay within. No, they're going to risk the cannon fire. So what they're going to do is they're going to just fire off a lot of crossbow bolts again. I think, and the Amnesia's going to roll to see if he gets back his big cannon. JJ, roll me a d6 on a 5 or a 6. He gets back his big cannon.
Don't do it. You bastard.
One gets back his big cannon. Sam, roll me a d6. See if the bottom one gets back his big cannon.
That's how you do it, JJ.
It was the call in it before. I liked it. So the top one gets back his big cannon. So he's going to fire his big cannon at the elves. The elves are proving problematic. And that's going to be a 15 plus 5. That's an unnatural 20 to hit. The top set of elves. These elves over here.
Cool.
Those ones over there. So that is going to be 7 plus 6. That's going to be. What am I doing this for? That's going to be 10 points of bludgeoning damage and 6 points of fire.
Okie dokie.
As a very, very big strike slams upon them with these sort of strange infernal cannons. You see globules of lava just spraying over them. Then the Ammonites here are going to, just going to lay down a bunch of quick fire attacks. These ones are going to go after dwarves. These ones are going to go after the elves. These ones are going to go after the dwarves. These ones are going to go after those ones. Yeah. So top ones against the dwarves. First, that is a miss. Middle top against the front pack of elves. That's a 14 plus 5. That's a 19.
Yep.
Which I believe hits. So that's only going to be 5 points of piercing damage to them.
Okie dokie.
The middle set are actually going to go against the front pack of elves because they're right in the front and they're elves and they're elves. That's going to miss with a 3 on the dice. And then this bottom set are going to go against these dwarves, which is going to be a 15 to hit, which misses them and doesn't even get within the bracket. So that's going to be them. Even with the fucking bonuses from the thing, they did not do very well on that. And then these ones are just going to start moving up. 2, 3, 4. And as they begin moving up, you just hear this like war horn-esque sort of sound, almost like a sort of infernal trumpet, like as these things are sort of heralding their own charge almost. That is actually, no, I'll tell you what. Yeah, this one's going to dash 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 3, 4. This one's going to rush up on its cavalry and get right in your face to really sort of test your mettle, as it were. That, I believe, is going to be all of them, as they've dealt a little bit of damage to many of the groups. We'll see how you guys fare in this next round. I leave it to you. What are you guys going to do?
Archers on this flaming boy here in the front.
Oh yeah, pepper him.
19 against this guy here.
Yeah.
Misses.
What about the 23?
23 hits. However, it is 5 below. It is 4 below, so it still does half damage. So that's going to be 4 damage on this guy and a 23 for 12 damage. Nicely done. 16 damage on this front Narzagon as archers, just begin peppering down.
I guess the other lot will also do the same. Because they can't quite reach anything else, really. Oh,
9 unfortunately misses very badly, but an 18 will do half damage for 6. 22. Nicely done. Who's up next? How are you adapting to this
I think
front?
we need to blitz this Narzagon, so I might bring forward Giri's blades.
Yeah, Giri's
I mean,
blades
do you wanna
begin
do, like, a
charging
combo
through.
thing? I can disengage as a bonus action and like swap places.
Well, does advantage work the same way, Ben? No.
Flanking.
flanking.
Yes, flanking still works the same way,
Are
obviously,
you
as
mobile enough to get
literal.
flanking, JJ?
Yes, I can 1-2s. I can go around like that.
Yeah, I think we're gonna need it if this thing's got like a 20 AC.
If I
So
have one,
if I go here, so it's
Right.
oh, gone. Sorry.
do some. If I support you with a dwarf guy, I can do use the war horn to gain +3 to attack rolls.
All right. Deal.
I can also push up the before the dwarves move. If you move them back one, Ryan, what I could do is use the Dragonborn's Crusader's Mantle so that Giri and both the dwarves, if they hit, they deal an extra 1d4 radiant damage.
sounds good.
Bloody Christmas.
And then they can move up and like flank.
I will
as well.
say so. For the purposes of that, I would say that you need to be. They then. Sorry, it wasn't very clear in the thing. They need to stay within that one hex
Oh, okay.
around you. Aura.
I'll move up to here then and get these two then from this position.
Cool.
Right, I'm gonna attack the Narzagon with advantage.
With advantage.
My +3 and my D4 onto my damage.
Alrighty.
25, 10 slashing, which turns into 13.
Which turns into 13. Right.
Attack number 1, attack number 2. Or 18's under, isn't it? But it's +3? No.
Yeah, +3, which would then be 21, which does it.
Okay, so 6, so 9 slashing.
Yep.
And then my third attack, 24 and 11 damage.
Are you rolling the d4s for that extra damage?
Oh, it's the D4 for extra damage, not +3. +3 is on the attack.
Yeah, +3 is on the attack.
Right, so, okay, right. So I'll do. Just add 8. That's for each one.
So 24, 32.
32.
Like that.
Ooh.
On their final attack, they're going to use their reaction to Hellish Rebuke, Giri's blades. So
Okay.
as you've attacked them, you see one of them raise a sort of war standard, and it begins to burn bright with this sort of dark energy. And one of the sort of captains of this unit points at Giri's blades, and he goes, and this fire begins erupting. Can Giri's blades make a dexterity saving throw as fire begins to erupt at their feet?
Oh, nat 20.
Nat 20. You kind of needed it. 2d10s, and I got a 9 and an 8.
Oh.
So that is 17 points of damage, halved to 8. 8 points of fire damage to Giri's blades. But these Narzagon, yeah, damn, that was a very big hit. Very big hit to these Narzagon. They're not quite dead, but they're certainly feeling a lot of what you guys are throwing down. So that's Giri's blades. Who else comes for the slaughter?
Seeing as I'm in position with that group of elves, I'll make a sword attack.
Go for it.
23.
23 does hit for 7 piercing damage.
Oh, they can do it twice, so I will try it again. And 8.
An 8 misses, unfortunately.
And
And the dwarves get 1 attack, I believe.
Yeah.
If they'd like to take it. You don't have advantage, but you do have a +3. 15 plus 3 puts you in range of the half damage, so 15 halved to 7, which is not bad. Yeah, they're really looking rough now. As yeah, this wave of troops has just come in to try and deal with the Narzagon. There's a bit of a melee forming. Awesome. What are some of the other troops doing? We've still got some spellcasters, I believe. No, the spellcasters went. We've still got the infantry of Ambyr. Are they just sitting?
Still got spellcasters.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Well, the ones at the front anyway.
Yeah.
The second dwarf units take out the Narzagon.
Yeah.
Nice. They'll get advantage with the other dwarves. But a 16 is just in the 4 bracket. So that's going to be 8 points of damage. And that 8 points of damage is what you needed.
Yeah, it's advantage.
Oh, of course, advantage. Yeah, then 16. Yeah, definitely. And as this final dwarven unit sort of runs in for the flank, their long pikes and their axes and everything like that just slashes and cuts down these Narzagon from their cavalry, sort of infernal horses, and just chops them down where they stand. That is unfortunate. Should have anticipated that. They will not make that mistake again. Maybe because they won't be alive to make it again, but whatever.
Alright, Luke, do you want to push up your capital soldiers or anyone?
Yeah, I'm going to push up the archers and take 2 shots at these guys.
Those ones there, go for it.
15 and 12.
15 misses, but it's within the 4, and 12 misses, but it's within the 4. Just so that's half damage on both, so that's 8 points of damage total.
And then just do the same on these guys as well, and just another 2 shots. And 19,
which one? These guys?
Yeah, those ones.
Yeah.
So a 19 and 24, so much better from those.
19 and 24 both properly hit there. So that'll be 8 plus 7 is 15 damage to those. Nicely done. Nice.
Finish them off with my dragon. Again. Claw those guys that took the arrows.
Yes, the dragon flying up and dragon landing down. Okie dokie. Which one's he clawing? The top or like above him? Or these guys? 14 is within the 4, so roll damage and it's halved.
Yeah.
7 half to 3. And 14, unfortunately, halved again, but that's half to 6, which is a little bit better. And bite for 25, that'll definitely properly hit. 9 plus 4 fire, I believe that does do it against that Maragon troop, and that Maragon troop is down. Nicely done. Anything else?
I'll move Giri's blades up here, just try and get some semblance of formation back. We didn't move up this turn, did we?
You mean like your whole troop didn't move up?
Yeah.
No, I don't believe they did. I believe the Narzagon came up and you've all just sort of moved. So I suppose if any of you have been tracking your movement and have any movement left, might be
Yeah, I can tuck those in because they haven't moved.
Cool. Mages will come here and hit the Narzagon there with an attack. So Dex save.
Oh, move the other mages up, and we're back in formation, baby.
Dex save from them. That's going to be a 22.
Yeah, that's a pass. Half damage. Still good there.
Still pretty good. Half
Nine.
damage. That's going to be just 9 points of damage to them.
And then bonus action I'll protect the capital soldiers on the left here. And then mages on the right are going to attack this Maragon. A dex save from them, please.
Dex save from the Maragon. Ooh, bad dice from them. That's going to be a 7 total.
Full damage, 11. That's shit.
11. That actually takes them out properly.
Oh,
You guys are rolling a lot better than I originally thought you would.
yeah, I think we should just take the whole... This lot should rock up to the TIamat. Like,
This
then
lot
they'll
maybe
protect,
should rock up to TIamat.
they'll protect the elves at the front here. So, yeah, this capital soldier unit at the front and then this one are protected.
Nice. Okie dokie. If that is everything,
Yep.
then
That's everyone.
awesome. Then let me just have a look. Cool. In which case, the devils are now going to move up. They're going to begin to move up. The Narzagon are going to get in range of... which one is looking? Ones of you have done the most damage. You've all done some pretty hefty damage. And I don't think they like it. So, I'll tell you what, let's do this. So, Luke, Ryan, and JJ roll me a d6 each to see if they get their infernal cannons back.
Not this time, baby.
One of them does. All right, so the middle one does. So the middle one is going to use its cannon against the archers way up here at the top. And let's see if they can deal a bit of damage. That's going to be an 18 to hit.
That hits.
And that's going to be... that's a lot better. That's 9 points of bludgeoning and 6 points of fire. The whole troop then, I believe. So I think... I'm trying to think of how they'd swing it, but I think this Narzagon's going to move here. This one's going to move behind. This one's going to move up. And this one is going to move... Well, it'll go 1, 2, pretty much to get here. Just for this movement. This one's going to move 1, 2. This one's going to move 1, 2. This one's going to move 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4. This one's going to move 1, 2. And that's going to be there. And now we really get into the melee. So first is going to be the Narzagon. Now the Narzagon is within 5 feet of the Amnesu on a melee attack, so it's going to get some bonuses to hit and bonuses to damage. So let's attempt the Narzagon first. He's first going to go for the capital troops, I think, in its initial charge. And that will be a 27 to hit, which I'm going to, I think, safely assume hit. And damage, that's going to be 5, 11, plus...
How much health have you got, Luke?
10, that's going to be 20...
It will be after this.
21 points of damage on its first attack.
Wow.
Ouch.
Second attack is going to be the exact same number, 27. Rolled 16 twice on the dice. That's a bit less of a good thing. That's 7 points of slashing and 7 points of fire. So that's 14 damage total on that second attack.
Oh,
Not. That's enough.
wipe it out.
Oh,
That's enough to wipe it out. And the Narzagon you see they roar. This whole sort of troop roars with just cheer and glee, and they I think they only move 2, right? So they could. So if that's them taken out, you can just delete them from the. You can just delete them from the thing. Things don't get death saves in this. Once you're gone, you're gone. So they can actually move 3 more. So they're going to go 1, 2. That's an attack of opportunity from the dwarves. If the dwarves want to take it.
Do it.
Do it. Do it.
Would they have advantage on that attack of opportunity because it would happen when they were in?
Oh
this
yeah, it
space
would have been.
between
It would have
you?
been. Yeah, it would have been there. So roll an attack with advantage, Ryan.
Yeah.
Didn't need it.
23 does hit.
You're rolling like 16s.
Yeah. So that's
Heavy hitters.
Yeah, I have it. I mean, max is 29.
5.
3, 4. Then that's an attack of opportunity from the spell. I don't actually think the spellcasters.
We
Yeah,
have,
I guess
we
the
have no
spellcasters-
melee.
Yeah, you don't have any melee, so you would get an attack of opportunity. But the elves would get an attack of opportunity. But a 13, unfortunately, is not enough. And this Narzagon is just charging through the forces here, just trying to break through as it's realizing its numbers are
Bring
being.
him down. Bring him
Its
down.
its numbers are just being dwindled. Right. The Meragon now. This Meragon against these things. It's next to its Onizu. It's melee attack, so it gets plus 1d4, which I need to actually pull out of my thing, because I haven't even used a 1d4 so far today. On top of its attack, which makes that a 16 to hit the archers.
Yes.
Awesome. And that's going to be
The archers.
those. The elven.
Okay.
The elf. Sorry.
Cool.
That's going to be 9 slashing plus 3 from the Amnizu, so that's going to be 12. 12 slashing plus 4 fire on those archers at the top. Now we're getting into some of the thick of it. That's there. They can't attack anyone else. So that's going to be them. These ones over here, did they dash or did they not dash? I believe they did. They haven't dashed, but they're actually going to try and cover off the Narzagon. So they're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 around here to just sort of point end the Narzagon's escape almost.
Luke, sorry. Did you halve all the damage you took?
No.
Okay, I mean it's done now, but
Should
have all been halved.
Why don't we say you have? We'll bring them back on.
Yep.
You have 10 HP left.
Had 35 HP.
You had 35.
You
And
did
you
21, and then you did 14.
Yeah, 21,
Actually, they're dead.
14. So half. 21 plus 14. That's 35. 35 half to 17. So they still have 13 HP left.
30.
If you
You did 35
No.
damage, halved to 17. They had 35 HP.
Yes, they have 13 HP left.
15.
That's not maths.
15. 15. 15. Yeah. 15. Sorry, my bad.
That's also not maths. 35
Is it
halved
not?
to 17. 35 minus 17 is 18.
18.
That's the one.
That's the ticket. I can do maths. So let's just bring them back on. Controlled by Luke, and you can stick them wherever they used to be.
I think exactly.
Which I guess would actually mean that the Narzagon would never have gone through you, so the Narzagon's going to stay there. That's easy enough to say. This one is still going to, in fact, then just use its dash to move around there. That's fine. We're back on track, boys. This guy way up here, archer attack against this group. It has 18 HP. Just going to shoot some shit at it. That's a 14 plus 3. That's 18. I believe that hits them. So that's going to
Are you
be
firing at?
the capital dudes.
Oh, actually,
Take-
it's the
Give him a brace.
thing about to immediately die.
That's going to be 10 points of damage, half to 5. But that's that for them. Then this Maragon troop can make 2 attacks. It's going to make 1 attack against these guys. 1 attack against. It's going to make 1 attack against. Yeah. It's going to make 1 attack against each. So 1 attack against the dwarves. That's going to be. Yeah, that hits. That's going to be 23 to hit the dwarves. So I don't think you can use your ability, and I'm going to roll against the elves as well. I'm just going to do 1 load of damage against or I'm not, because that's going to be a natural 20 against the elves. I'm very, very sorry. So against the dwarves, the Maragon charge in with these long pikes, and as they're up close now, you can see their sort of hunched over demon's red skin, very sort of piecemeal black metal armor with these golden face plates. Or it kind of looks gold, but you can see it's flaking off, and it's kind of horrible. As they do 6 plus 3 is 9 points of damage plus 2 fire. So that's halved against the dwarves to be what's 6 plus 3 is 9 half, so that's 4 points of damage to the dwarves plus 2 fire, so that's 6 points of damage to the dwarves total. And then against the elves, 2d10, 8 plus 10 plus 4, so that's 18, 22, 28 points of damage to these elves in 1 fell swoop. Then this one is going to take a whack, 2 whacks, 1 against the elves at the top, above it, and 1 against the dwarves in front of it, I think.
What did you say to Ben, JJ?
Well, it's just because they've been very, very good. They've been taking out a lot of stuff. They've been very, very mobile, and they're at the spearhead, and got to hit the spearhead hard.
Yeah.
Hey, man, brother.
I was thinking about what I was reading the Dragonborn stat block and not paying attention. What damage was that? Sorry, because I completely. Did you say
28 points of damage to
halved.
these elves here, all
halved.
halved.
Ah, right. So 14. So I was going to say, okay, so I'm on 19.
Then against the elves, the first attack from the Maragon is 15.
Yes, that's their AC.
Oh, that's the AC, man. That's going to be 9 plus 3 is 12 plus 3. That's 15 points of damage, half to 7 against the elves at the top.
Okay.
How are these elves looking?
They got 12 HP left.
They've got 12 HP left.
The dream.
Under ropes. This is war.
Do it, Ben.
Yes, it's
No
war.
mercy.
No mercy. That's going to be it's going to be a 19 to hit them, and 5 plus 3 is 8 plus 5 fire damage is
13.
that. Oh, I haven't been adding the D4 from the amnesia behind them. Doesn't matter. You're dead. They're dead anyway. Fantastic, and I believe that is going to be. Yeah, I believe that's going to be all of their troops. Pretty much. I think that's pretty much going to be everything.
These 2 fat boys at the back moved.
No, because they, if they are back there, they didn't get their cannon attack back. So they don't have any other ranged thing. But if they stay within 1 hex of things, they grant them certain bonuses.
Okay.
Against certain attacks. So that's going to be their turn. Now it is up to you, my fair genitals. See if we can get one more round in.
I don't think we got a cannon fire off last round.
No, I think you're right.
I think you're right. So
That's your fault for not using it.
yeah. I'm gonna say they were reloading that time.
Yeah, a bloody Frankenmason. Can't leave him to do anything.
Oh yes, I like that. That's fucking terrifying for these dwarves right here. But
The aim's on point.
Yeah,
that's plenty of
really
time to-
that's really
to-
testing there. That's really testing the thing.
uh,
Imagine, like, obviously they're scrying on the battlefield and they're like, "Are you sure you want to hit there?" And they're like, "Yeah, do it." Okay, just remember, if anyone asks, if a stray cannonball goes anywhere, it wasn't us. Or it must have our necks if we've committed war crimes when we get back.
he can do that.
So
The
that's going to be a
armors out there
deck
because they haven't
save.
committed war crimes, surely.
Yeah.
That's going to be a deck save from all of them, and that's going to be from the Narzagon. A 12 plus 4 is 16 from the Narzagon. Meragon, 16 as well. Amnizu, 14. So that's 2 passes and a fail, 10 damage, so half to 5. So that's bam, bam. But then he takes the full 10, which is rather sad. No, he's not. No, he's not going to use that on that yet.
Archers on this boy.
also,
Right now.
Right now, let's get it.
Oh, those
6.
archers are really good.
They've really. What have they got bonus there? It's only 7 to hit, but I don't think they've actually missed anything. You guys have rolled, exceptionally well with some of these creatures. That does hit, and they take the full 6 piercing damage. That misses, but it's within the 4, so they take half. So they take 2.
Immediately miss.
Yeah, I shouldn't have picked them up too much. Raise their ego.
How's this thing looking?
Still look pretty good.
Have a lot of archers far a couple shots then.
Alrighty. That 11 is no damage at all, but the 9 is a quite palpable hit and does manage to deal a big chunk of damage against them. Nice.
That's all your archers. I think we need
that's all your
to.
archers.
I think if we go from like the bottom of this group here, if we go from like the elves, infantry, my mages, and we'll just see. Like we want to try and bring, because we're quite spread out at the moment. I think if we try and kill these people first and then bring it back up, and then it's sort of like a line on line again.
Is it worth trying to sort of pincer them in? We've got the elves and the infantry here, kind of swing around.
Yeah, I think so. But like, try and get through these geezers in front of you here, and then we can sort of bring it round. And
well, yeah, that's what I mean. Like, say, like for example, I move up to here,
yeah,
and attack them, and then the elves go there, and then we can.
I think
hopefully.
so. Yeah. So shoot away, my young man.
Okay.
So longsword against these bottom Meragon here, 26 7 slashing damage. So they charge in, managing to really cleave into this troop of Meragon. First hit, nicely done.
He's done 2 there.
Oh, he's done 2 there. I didn't see.
Yeah,
the 13, however, doesn't hit, but will deal half damage for 4. None of you guys have rolled 1s yet, and it's been very upsetting, except for at the very beginning.
One on a
yes,
ranged
4.
attack, I think, and we had a 1, but then the retaliation was missed.
Yeah, that was it. Cool. That's that infantry troop gone. Who's up next? I believe if you're going from the bottom.
Step your blades into here.
I was going to come in.
I'll bring.
I was going to come in there. Oh, okay, yeah. Then there you got your advantage. Perfect.
The elves. Once the elves step within 1 hex of the Amnizu from its high plinth sort of points at this large troop of elves and goes, Rondor, and uses its infernal edict. Can the elves make me a wisdom saving throw?
Oh shit! That shouldn't have been with advantage. Sorry. I'll roll a 9.
A 9. That is a fail. The elves are now afraid of the Narzagon.
Ah, balls.
And on their next turn, they must use all of their movement to move as far away from the Narzagon as they can, as they are just absolutely petrified of this Narzagon. So remember that for your turn. That troop of elves, frightened. Let's just put a little symbol on them there. They're
Okay.
frightened on their turn. Gotta move.
So they got 12 on their first attack, which is probably going to miss, or an 11 with disadvantage.
11 with disadvantage misses and doesn't get the half damage either.
And then a 17.
17 does, however, hit with a 6 piercing damage. Nice. So that's one of the, I believe, the last elven troop, unfortunately.
That's the last elven troop.
Lord. Cool. Who's up next?
I was just thinking I got something. If we use the Dragonborn's Holy Flames, and they can only do it once on this boy,
On the Narzagon, yeah.
Flaming Night Boy, not the.
Yeah.
So they need to make a Dexterity saving throw. I don't actually have a saving throw DC on here.
Oh, I believe it's 15. Most things are 15.
It'll
It'll be whatever the save is for any of your other abilities if you have any.
I don't
on there, but
saves. Wiz is +3, so
that'll be 15, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, 15. Yeah, I'm just gonna say 15 because that's what everyone else's saving throw stuff is.
But I'm
It seems.
special, so it should be more.
They have, however, failed with a 30.
Ah, perfect. So they take 3d6 fire damage and 3d6 radiant damage. That has not rolled it as I expected.
That has not rolled it as you expected.
Alright, 3d6 fire
may need
and
to just
3d6
roll
radiant. That could have been better.
That really could have been a lot better. Lucky me. So that's only going to be.
And then I'm going to move them around this way to pincer in these guys.
Awesome. That's the Dragonborn. Who would like to go next?
These mages here will attack this guy. So can this Maragon make a dex save, please?
Maragon make a dex save. Of course it can. That's going to be a 10.
Fail. 3d8. Oh, trash.
9. 1 HP left. There's just a last few Maragon clinging on to life as they're just sort of, it's like the last few are just getting whipped by this amnesia. Like, work harder!
Alright, sensing they're weak, Kiri's Blades will use one of their attacks to babushka these bitches.
Babushka, go for it.
I'm also going to use their bonus action to do Fighting Spirit. So this one, yeah. They shall get 5 temporary hit points and advantage on all attacks. So
Okie dokie.
we'll attack this Maragon here first. 25, 6 slashing, dead.
25, 6 slashing, yep. Dead as a doornail. Though I don't know what's particularly dead about a doornail.
It's not alive, is it?
No, it's a
Never
quote
has.
from
Never has.
it's a quote from Christmas Carol.
Right, and
Even
then
though it's not Christmas.
Charging down, my boys.
oh yeah, that opens up for you, Ryan.
Dwarves start charging in, electric guitar riffs start playing. Oh, but unfortunately, hit does not hit the amnesia at all. Yeah, that is unfortunate.
These dwarves were, natural sprinters. They just close.
They all got tired by the time they got there.
Right, I'm thinking if you move your dwarves here, and then if you plug the gap there, then it just makes the line a bit stronger.
Where am I plugging the gap?
So I think if Ryan moves his up here,
How much?
and then
Oh, I
if you
see.
can- like that.
How much movement has Gary got?
I've only moved one, so I've got 4 left, but I'm about to lay into this bitch here.
Well, I was thinking because if you move around here, Ryan stays here, and then the infantry comes and plugs Gary's gap, you'll get advantage on all your attacks as well.
I've got advantage anyway.
It will give these dwarves advantage.
Okay, maybe I'll lay into the thing
These
here.
ones still have the +3 as well.
Okay, but that's only if you're within 1 tile, correct?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
only if you're within 1 hex of them.
I'll say it is that.
Right, okay, I'll go here, and then I'll attack the Amanizu.
Okie
Yeah,
dokie.
Luke,
As you
you
come
can
into
go
range,
there.
can you make me a wisdom saving throw?
Oh shit, I forgot about that. Yeah, look, if you go across one and Ryan, you come back to where you were.
I'll
6.
use Indomitable to reroll it.
And then that line is still in place.
Alrighty.
Oh, sorry, that should have been. Well, it wouldn't have passed anyway. I rolled it from the whiz rather than the whiz saving throw.
I see. 14 still fails, I'm afraid. This group of individuals are frightened, and on their next turn, need to use all their movement to run away.
Okay, I'll still get 2 regular attacks against the
You
minute.
do, because fighting spirit cancels out the disadvantage.
Yeah, boy, hit hard, prosper. 18,
18 does just hit.
5 damage, and then final one. 12 misses. 8 even.
An 8, and that's a nat 1, so they get to finally. I get to use my thing. Maybe if they actually fucking hit anything, use Infernal Whip, and that's 17 plus 8, 25. It does hit you. So Infernal Whip does 1, 2, 3, 5. 2 plus 3 plus 5 is 10 plus 5. 15. That's 15 points of damage to these to the Geary's blades.
Okay, and that's everything from Gary's Blades.
Fantastico. Any more before I think we close the session down.
Have
The
wizards
infantry unit.
Dragon.
I've got one. Well, let's go through it. So these 3 units here, this cluster, they all need to go, and the dragon as well. So dwarves, I think it's pretty obvious what you're doing.
Yeah. We'll go with the dwarves first. Dwarves, what are you doing? Who are you attacking?
Actually, the 5 breath on the dragon says cone. Is that just like the ones around him, or does it go out like?
Believe. Let me have a look, because I don't think they should have a cone. 1 hex cone. Yes, a 1 hex cone. So that's in sort of 2. That's
So
2
if
there.
I was to
Apologies, that's a misreading of the
go
dragon's thing.
here, and then burn these guys.
Yeah. Where were you before? You were up here, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, cool. So they both need to make a dexterity save?
Yeah, 16.
Cool. So just roll 66 for me, and we'll do it that way. So the Amnesia rolls a
hello.
17, so they get half, but the Maragon rolls an 18. 2 very, very good rolls there. That was a 16 and an 18 on the dice. 26, half to 13 damage each. But as the dragon moves into range, can the dragon make a wisdom saving throw, please? The dragon is frightened of the Amnesu, and on its turn must use all of its movement to fly the fuck away. As they are routed in this combat. I believe we still have the armies of the capital left to go. Oui.
And a dwarf unit as well.
And a dwarf unit as well.
And my
Absolutely.
mages here.
Oh, what is that? Min-max, baby.
Fuck yeah. Who's that against? This Maragon here?
The flaming boy right in front of me.
The flaming boy right in front of you. Absolutely.
Oh, Luke, you're so dead with that nat 1.
Yeah. That nat 1, that first attack is, they're definitely going to attack you with that. The second one, I will. Actually, yeah, let's actually see whether you survive to make the second attack, because they get to make an attack against you. Yeah, that's going to be a 22 to hit. So that's going to be bam. Oh, not a good first roll. You lucky duck. Plus. Oh my god. So that's going to be 2 plus 5 is 7 plus 11. 12. So you take 12 points of damage total. But I believe they're resistant to all damage.
That's only until the next turn. So
so 12 points of damage exactly.
Interesting.
Yes. That puts them on 1 HP. You're so lucky. They get 2d10 plus 2d6, and they rolled 1 on both d10s and a 1 on one of the d6s.
I think the Dragonborn have used their bonus action, so do you want 5 HP back?
Do I heck? Yeah. Thank you.
Then you've got your
There we go.
attack after.
And then you got the attack after, which you're still alive for, which
14.
yes is a critical hit. So that's 8 plus 6. Damagios right there.
So that's you gone, and then dwarves here.
Dwarfs here.
Here attacking Ryan. You get advantage if you attack this guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he's already rolled to hit, but sure. But fucking 29 piercing damage. Fucking hell.
That's max.
That's
wasted
two-
on this cunt.
That is 2 12s. And there's been absolutely destroyed, this Maragon troop. Oh my lord. 2 12s on the damage dice. That's somewhat insane. I believe.
No,
Is there any spellcasters left?
Yeah, so this mage will move up here. He's attacked already, but he will give resistance to this capital soldier unit.
Okay.
And then
I'm just going to put a little token on them to say that they've got resistance, so that next week we remember.
And then this one is going to give it to. He'll give it to Giri's Bears because they're a little bit isolated, and then he's going to hit the Narzagon. So can the Narzagon make a dex save, please?
Narzagon, of course, can make a dex save. Narzagon rolls an unnatural 20 on his dex save.
Yep, half damage then. 6.
Narzagon's rolling pretty well on my things. Narzagon is still alive.
That is everything from them.
I believe, yeah, that is now everything. And I think we'll call the session there. Thank you all very, very much. You've all done very, very well. I was a little bit worried that I'd put a little bit too much in front of you there, but you guys actually have done very, very well. It's helped that you've rolled exceptionally. And yeah, some of your tactics of keeping together and things like that, and making sure there aren't too many gaps or whatever, has proven very, very useful. Yeah, I'm liking this. I'm liking this teamwork. Although it's a little bit difficult to track who's done and who's whatever, I think it's kind of fun to have you guys sort of work together as a team a bit more, and sort of like, okay, you move there and you move there, then we can get this, and then we can do this, that, and the other, which I think you don't quite get with, I guess, normal D&D when everything's in turns. But there we go. It's been a fun little experiment. Hope you guys have enjoyed something a little bit different this week, and I guess we'll pick up with this, and probably, I mean, unless anything really changed, I mean, I could see you guys getting away with a clean sheet here. And if so, I guess we'd move on to some other stuff. But I suppose, yeah, next week we'll finish off this and see where we get to. Again, hope you all enjoyed. Any critiques, anything like that, let me know. But otherwise, have a good one, fellas. Speak to you next week.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah.